BL is a genre built entirely on forbidden tropes that let us safely explore our issues from the comfort of our bedrooms without actually having to live through them, thank God. And one of those tropes, the stepbrother trope. I'm absolutely a bitch for this trope, mostly for the specific brand of torture it brings. It's all about forced proximity. You're literally legally bound to live in the same house as your crush. You can't escape the tension because it's eating dinner across the table from you. There's also that layer of restraint. The fact that you really shouldn't be doing this. It's a problem in everyone else's eyes, which naturally makes it 10 times more attractive to us as human beings. We always want what we're not supposed to have. And while there are tons of written media about this, there are tragically few actual BL series that really commit to it. I wish there were more, but we have to work with what we've got. So we have 12 series in total and we are going to rank them together today. Let me know your top 3 in the comments and let's get started. I'll Turn Back this time is so shit that even actual poo looks delicious compared to it. I'm sorry, but it's horrible. First of all, everything looks fake. The set, the costumes, the interactions, it all screams we are in a studio. You can practically see the green screen reflecting in their eyes. It completely pulls you out of the story because nothing feels real. Secondly, the stepbrother trope is non existent. They wasted it. They didn't explore the tension, the family dynamics, or the taboo. Nothing. Instead, we got the main lead stuck in this boring, repetitive time loop trying to save his lover who just dies every single time. At some point, you have to look in the mirror, wash your face with cold water, and realize destiny hates you. Stop playing God. You're wasting your time, you're wasting my time, and you are annoying everyone. Just give up and live your lonely, miserable life. It would have been a better ending than whatever this mess was. Thai drama Brothers is cringe for a lot of reasons. First of all, the guys look way too young and that made me feel uncomfortable watching it. I couldn't get into their story because of that and it just felt wrong. Secondly, the acting was bad. Like, it was really bad even compared to Thai standards, which are already low for me. But I will say that if you're into fluffy, light-hearted stories and can tolerate cringe and bad acting and looking at children, then this is the one for you. There are 3 different stories in History 1 and the stepbrother storyline Stay Away From Me is probably one of the weakest for me simply because the acting is not that good. Even with the cringy acting though, I still like it. It's a light-hearted enemies to lovers storyline between 2 stepbrothers who recently come to know about each other and have to stay under one roof. They have completely opposite personalities and slowly come to care for one another. As I said, the acting is not amazing and the chemistry is subpar, but there is a charm about it that I can't ignore. If you haven't seen it yet, I do recommend it. Grey Shelter could have been so much more than it was if it wasn't so short. The chemistry is incredible there. Like, hold your breath from the knife cutting tension kind of incredible. But I hate the direction. They had only 5 episodes, so they should have focused on the main couple and their interactions. Instead, the direction focused as much as it could on keeping them apart from each other to focus on their individual struggles, which was frustrating. I finished it and was left dissatisfied with how it ended on an ambiguous note. But I still love it because of the incredible sexual tension, the melancholic vibe of the whole series, and just how good looking and suited to each other the stepbrothers were. The side couple in History 2 Crossing the Line were stepbrothers who had silent feelings battle going on between them. They were sweet, they were adorable, and I really got into their story because they were both pretending so hard that they are just brothers until they just couldn't anymore. The whole series with the main couple was really good and memorable and kind of iconic, but the second couple with the stepbrother storyline were not lacking at all and complemented the main couple really well. My Bromance is a Thai classic, and if you haven't watched it yet, can you really call yourself a Thai BL fan? I love it because it doesn't mince the stepbrother trope. It is directed very close to a classic toxic stepbrother novel. Two teenagers suddenly become stepbrothers when their parents marry each other and live under one roof. One is aggressive and the other is and wants to gain his brother's approval. And thus the toxic love story starts, full of emotions, tears, and heart fluttering moments. It's an old school Thai BL, so if you haven't watched it yet, what are you doing? If anybody could give tough competition to Guhe from Addicted, it will be our very own sick and twisted Didi Fu Youngjae. He doesn't know how to love, but he sure knows how to fuck. The dynamic between older brother Shinxi and younger brother Youngji was definitely sick and twisted, but I did not care. I loved them. I loved them and their abusive dynamic. The funniest part was that Youngji was obsessed and jealous enough to punch Shinxi's best friend Teng Muren and rape Shinxi, but as soon as he did that, he became a saint who doesn't know how to confess, doesn't know how to love, and doesn't know how to be romantic. Shinxi had to teach him every single thing, and it was low-key so adorable to watch. Now, Thundercloud Rainstorm is tricky one because they started out as cousins and we find out the truth later on. But regardless, I included them because they knowingly indulged in a physical relationship. Like, they literally had sex multiple times knowing that they were blood cousins. I mean, at least one of them did. Jonghan is definitely a dirty, obsessive individual whose jealousy and obsession knows no bounds. It's another story that he kept on trying to pretend that he hated his cousin Iljo, but he was also the one acting the most clingy, jealous, and completely enamored by his cousin. Yes, I'm one of those delusional individuals who is still waiting for the second season of The Only One. How I wish they adapted the second book because that's when they start a relationship after being years apart, and that's when they slowly acknowledge that searing tension between them. I'm really sad that the production company that made this series turned out to be shady and the director and actors distanced themselves from the series. The casting was perfect. Imagine not one bad scene between them, but we were literally shaking from the sexual tension and intensity in every episode. The depth of emotions the love portrayed was just so deep and profound, and I still remember some scenes like I watched them yesterday. How I wish this series was released in 2025 instead of 2023. I swear if they released it this year or last year, it would have been a full-on BL and we would have gotten Gohei and Baloyan's storyline without it getting watered down or turned into bromance. But I will say that even though it was technically a bromance, it was more romantic than any BL I've seen in 2023, which is why this was my number one BL of that year. I was obsessed with their dynamic. At least they fully gave us the story of book 1 without skimming important details, and I will forever be grateful to them for that. The chemistry was amazing and I wish these two would work together again in a proper BL now. Of course, Addicted Heroine is my number 2 on my Stepbrother list because this was the very first Stepbrother live action I ever watched, and this is the BL series that made me realize that I actually like this trope a lot. Even though we've seen many versions of Gohei and Baloyan till now, Johnny Wang and Timmy Shu are still my favorites. They are the ones that fit the novel descriptions perfectly. They are the ones that I imagined when I read the two novels. I really loved their push and pull dynamic. The way Guhei was so utterly obsessed with his stepbrother, and the way Baloyan deeply cared about him too, but the way he showed his love was totally different from Guhei. He would die for Guhei but never let him know how much he actually loved him and cared for him. He was jealous too, but he showed it in his anger rather than forcing himself on Guhei like Guhei did. I could write a thesis about them because they are my favorite BL pairing ever, but I will restrict myself to saying that even though the Addicted live action was never finished, it will remain my favorite series ever. And my number 1 Stepbrother series of all time is none other than Taiwanese BL Unknown the series. Right from the acting to the direction to writing and chemistry, the support characters were top-notch in this series. Everyone came together to make the series utterly memorable for me. The internal conflict of the two characters, the suffering, the pining, the jealousy, the meltdowns, even the NC scenes got me so emotional and so consumed that I feel like I was literally living this dynamic with them. The direction was so perfect, the home looked lived in, and the characters interacted like they literally grew up together. Chris Chu and Kurt Huang's acting gave me goosebumps, and it makes me so sad that they had a falling out in real life and we will never see them work together again. So there you have it. This is my definitive, completely biased and emotionally exhausting ranking of every Stepbrother BL series worth mentioning and some that weren't mentioned. If I missed your favorite, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe so I can keep fueling my obsession with questionable tropes. See you in the next one. Bye.